We often use stories to convey certain important life principles to children, and even as grown-ups we remember those stories. However, we don't always continue to follow the principles taught in some of these stories. Probably the most famous example of this is the well-known fable of the hare who was making fun of the tortoise for being so slow. Finally, the tortoise couldn't take the taunting anymore and said, "I'm faster than you think. In fact, I'll run a race to prove it." The hare almost doubled over with laughter when he heard this, but agreed to it anyway, thinking that he'll properly embarrass the tortoise in front of all the other animals. They got the fox to act as a judge, who set the distance and marked out the course for the race. And the big day finally arrived, with a lot of other animals coming to see the spectacle. The fox set the two runners off with a "ready, steady, go," and as soon as he said go, Hare was so fast out of the blocks that none of the other animals thought that they would have been able to keep up. And so everyone thought that tortoise didn't stand a chance. Soon, Hare was so far ahead that he thought he'd stop and rest a bit under a big oak tree on top of a hill, to wait for tortoise to catch up before he'll show off his speed again and cross the finish line with all the other animals cheering his incredible speed. It wasn't long, though, before he drifted off to sleep. Meanwhile, Tortoise was continuing to run the race at a very slow but steady pace, and before long he passed the giant oak tree where Hare was still sleeping. Eventually, Hare woke with a start as he heard many animals cheering loudly in the distance, and to his utter shock, he saw that Tortoise was very close to the finish line, with a whole crowd of animals cheering him on. Hare took off with lightning speed, but he wasn't fast enough to overtake Tortoise, who won the historic race, because even though he seemed slow, he kept going when Hare didn't. Friends, most of us know this story, and yet how often do we act like the hare in this fable? We rush in, trying to achieve our health or career or life goals as soon as possible, only to run out of steam halfway through, forgetting that slow and steady would have served us much better. And therefore, as you go into the day, whatever challenges you may be facing, may I encourage you to keep this fable in mind. Remember that fools rush in where angels fear to tread, but slow and steady wins the race. It may just do the same for you.